Okay. Okay. Hello, hello. All right. Happy to be here with you today. So excited about this topic. Um, let's just dive in. I'm going to be sharing some simple ways to really thrive during winter, without things like seasonal affective disorder and winter blues and some of these really common, just kind of yuckies that many people tend to experience during winter, especially sensitive, deep feeling folks. So, we're going to discuss the purpose and meaning of winter, and I'll share some really simple yet awesome, profound things that you can begin doing today to really build your resilience against things like the winter yuckies. I just made that up right now. I love that. So, no more winter yuckies, no more winter blues, seasonal affective disorders, stuff like that. So, stick with me. I'm going to share some actionable things and ask any questions along the way. So, in my work, um, I use nature a lot. I use nature's rhythms, nature's wisdom, to support sensitive, deep feeling people in really building their resilience and their capacity, their confidence, their joy for all of life, for life's challenges, for life's good times, joys, everything in between. Nature is truly our mirror. It is the most constant, um, true thing that we have. So these rhythms are ours. They're in our body, they're in our minds. They are our teachers. They really are here to model to us what it means, what it looks like to live and to live well, to live in a way that is just as effortless as the turning of the seasons, to really be in that place and to allow space for all that life brings our way. So I love working with the seasons, and on my wheel of the year that I've created, winter is a time that I refer to as the void. So it's a time between times. It is a place of gestation and darkness and surrendering and stillness and resting. And it's truly the place of no thing that is the source of all things. So if we kind of pause and think about that for a moment, how might we then be acting or or not acting in this time? If this is, we can think of like the womb and a time for gestation and a time for um, listening and being in this place of nothingness before something arises, how might we be differently? Yeah, I'm curious what's coming up for you. Just like pausing and feeling into that. How would that influence my choices, my actions? So this is not a time to like try to keep up. It's a time to pause, to wait, to watch and listen before acting. The acting will come soon enough, right? The leaves will start to come back to the trees. The first little flowers will start to pop up. And right now, this is that just kind of like empty nothingness, right? So our modern world doesn't like to pause. It doesn't like times of nothingness. It doesn't like the void. The normal world doesn't recognize or align with natural rhythms and demands kind of this like sameness, this high output productivity 24/7 365. And yet as sensitive deep feeling people, you feel these natural cycles and these natural pulls very strongly. And so then this conflict arises between what you feel and what you know in your bones to be true, and these like poles that you are being pulled to, and and then the expectations and the norms of what's expected and accepted by the greater collective. And so then, you know, when we have this maybe weak sense of self or this lower sense of confidence, um, it can be hard to follow our own inner spark, our own inner knowing. And so that right there is where I invite you to look. More than, oh, get your vitamin D and oh, get some extra sleep. Like those are all wonderful. And they're just kind of like band-aids over this real root cause, this real root um, thing that is zapping your resilience, not just in winter, it's going to show up in other places as well, other seasons, other areas of your life, other things. So when we feel we can't keep up, a sense of shame results, and shame arises anytime we feel our sense of safety, belonging, contentment, and joy to be compromised, to be threatened. So if we feel like we can't keep up with something, shame naturally arises because it's like, ooh, yikes, I am not safe. I'm going to be found out. I'm going to be seen as this like sensitive, deep feeling person that I am, and I'm unable to keep up. This is my perception, right? I'm unable to keep up. And so my sense of safety, belonging, contentment, and joy are in jeopardy. That's where shame arises. And then this leads to the depression, the anxiety, a sense of feeling defeated, a sense of feeling like less than. We start to devalue ourselves. There's fear, all kinds of stuff. And so when it shows up in winter, we just call it like, oh, winter blues, seasonal affective disorder. Um, when really it's here all the time. It's just that's how it's showing up right now. So I want to remind us that yes, there is a physiological need for like sunshine and being outside. And often when it's cold, that's the last thing we want to do. So I'm going to share with you some very simple actionable things. I have like 3 of them. So let's go. Here you go. I promised you, here we are. So get outside. I don't care what the weather is, dress accordingly, be outside. Even when it's cloudy, the sun is there. Like, be outside, feel the crisp air, feel the sunshine, be outside. Try to stick to a regular sleep wake schedule and allow for more rest. That doesn't necessarily need to be more sleep, just like pausing, throughout the day. Does your day need to be as full as it is right now? Is there a way to make it less full? And get moving, really favoring like shorter bursts of higher intensity movements. This can really raise your spirits and support your system in doing the things it needs to do. It can boost the mood and really support a sense of energy and vitality and joy. And above all else, give yourself permission to really rest and be in the void and get curious about what you find there. So to recap, get outside. I don't care what the weather is. Follow a regular sleep-wake schedule and allow for more rest. Maybe that means more sleep, but definitely more rest, more periods of just like chilling, nothingness, and get moving. Get those shorter bursts of higher intensity exercise, ideally like first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning. And wonderful if it can be outside. If not, great, but like first thing in the morning. And so, yeah, being in the void, really asking yourself what you find there. Is it easy to be there? Do you feel itchy when there's like nothingness? How quiet and still can you let yourself be? Really leaning into those pieces. And so, yes, tending these like, you know, more rest, exercise, sunshine, those things are great and they will help you to build that sense of stability to then be able to look into these subtler parts of yourself. So I got distracted by the comments. Hi Lynn, thank you for being here. Yeah, so the more that you just, in closing, to wrap this baby up, the more you take care of yourself from the perspective of the 5 elements framework as part of my work that I've shared, and that is the 5 elements of body, emotions and energy, mind, your connection to nature and spirit, and your relationships and social connection. So the more that you can really view yourself from this 5 elements framework, from these facets of yourself, the greater stability you'll build and then the greater resilience that you'll have, and the more of a like a deep dive you can go into yourself. So this means more energy and vitality, not just through winter, but through all seasons of life, all the time, every day. It's in your hands, it's possible. And as a sensitive, deep feeling person, it's actually even more possible. The self awareness that sensitive, deep feelers possess is like mind boggling and beyond that of like the average person. So when we start to kind of take back the control against this shame and this anxiety and the overthinking and the people pleasing and the burnout and the not putting ourselves first, when we start to just like put a little tiny bit of the opposites of all of that into ourselves, it like things happen so quickly, and we really get to have this rich, deep experience of life where we're not just like playing whack-a-mole with symptoms, we're not settling for ill health, we're not hiding from life, we're not resenting ourselves. And so I really just invite you to begin to ask yourself today, what can I do right now to begin to build a greater sense of stability and confidence in myself that will in turn strengthen and boost my resilience for all of life. And winter is a beautiful time for that. All of this quiet and inward invitation. So I really invite you to lean in and to take that. So let me know what's feeling helpful. Let me know what questions you have. I am happy to answer them. I love questions. And I am wishing you a beautiful winter season full of magic and wonder and amazingness. All right.